Hey there, how's it going? I hope everything is okay with you. Right, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a walkthrough on how you can use Language Learning RPG. Okay, so for those of you who are new here, Language Learning RPG is a gamified productivity system that I built using Notion. So you can use this template to track your language learning journey like a game. Think it, think of it like solo leveling, but for language learning. Okay. Now, to give you a quick walkthrough, I'm just going to show you a few of the sections on this template. So what we have here is the player section. So if I click on the page, it's going to open just like that, and you have your player over here. Okay, so all the level, rank, experience points, languages, and your quests are all listed for your player on this page. And you can have a look over here, your language learning database over here, all your languages in a database, all your quests are sorted over here. So you can look by date, okay, by difficulty, by player. You can also invite players to join you inside this workspace, okay. And over here, there's a note section over here, which you can write down your notes whenever you are done with your review or anything. So for example, over here, you have your weekly review. You can write whatever stuff that you want to write over here as a note and link them to your player and also to your languages, okay. So that is in essence of how language learning RPG looks like. And you can like start a new quest and do quests and view all your quests just like that over here using this page, using this template. Okay, so that's a quick rundown of how this template looks like and how it works. So now that you know how the language learning RPG template looks like, and if you already have the template with you, let's go ahead and start setting up your own language learning RPG system. First thing that we're going to do is to create a player page. Creating a player page is very simple. All you need to do is just click on this new page button over here or click on this blue new button over here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and it's going to immediately prompt you to create a new player. So give your player a name. I'm going to give it me. Okay, now by default, your player status will be not sorted. So make sure to change it to in progress. Or if you are done with your player, you can archive it by just clicking on done, and it's going to be sorted to the logbook over here. Okay, so I'm going to revert it back to in progress. Go back here. Now, next, what you want to do is to add languages to your player. Okay, so to link languages to your player. To do so, just click on add languages over here, and it's going to display a selection of language that I've created by default. These are all the language that you have. You can add more if you want to. So remember, it can be languages, it can be dialects, it can be also like sign languages, whatever sort of languages that you have in mind. All right. So right now, let me try to link Korean, Mandarin Chinese, and also American English. Okay. Now, at the start, my fluency is monolingual, but if I change the status of one of the languages, for example, Korean to learning, Mandarin Chinese to fluent, and American English to native. You can see that as soon as I click on both of these to become fluent or native, my fluency changes to bilingual. So these changes are made automatically, okay? So you don't need to do anything over here, okay? Now, if I change it back from fluent to learning, it's going to go back to monolingual, okay? So as many languages as you can. If you want to add more, link more, for example, Indonesia, Bahasa Indonesia, and Urdu over here. So if I change it to fluent, I'm not trilingual, just like that. Okay, so that is for the how you can link languages. Next, over here at the bottom of the page, of the player page, is the player-specific database. So this is where you can have a look at all your quests and notes specified for the particular, filtered for the particular player over here. Okay, now this is one player. You can add more if you want to, create more players if you want to, and you can also invite other people, let's say your friends or family members or spouse, to your language learning RPG workspace. To do so, all you need to do is just go to the share button here at the top, click on it, and then type in the email of the person that you want to invite to. Okay. Next, what we have here is the languages section. So this is where you can store the languages in your own language database. At the moment, you have here the languages that you are learning over here, okay, filtered, and you can go to this TDS view over here to see all the other languages that you have in the database. Once again, if you want to create a new language, just click on new over here or new over here.
and just type in the language that you want to add to the database. Okay, so you have here group according to native, fluent, learning, and not started, blah 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 over here, all neatly sorted. Okay, so that's it for the language section. Oh, and if you click on it, you can see that normally what you need to do is have one player for one language. Okay, so if you invited other people to join your workspace, the other person has to create their own language page inside the database. Okay, so that is it for the language section over here. Next, let's move on to how you can create a quest. Creating a quest in Language Learning RPG is absolutely straightforward and simple to do, because all you need to do is just click on the Start a New Quest button and you're good to go. So I'm going to click on the button and voila, it's going to open a new page for you to create a quest. Okay, so let's name your quest. Let's say I have a talking session with Chisa, so a Japanese lesson with one of my tutor. Okay, so by default, the status is not started. So you can change the status over here. So there are a selection of status over here. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it as not started yet. I'm gonna select a player. So I'm gonna link this quest to a player. So just click on link page, just like that. By the way, if you are solo leveling your language learning RPG, you can pre-fill your player here, or your language or difficulty or whatever, by just editing your edit button over here. Click on it, and then scroll down, click on edit a property, select your player, and then select your player just like that, and then click on done. Now, every time you click on this button, it's going to immediately pre-fill for you the player just like that. Okay, so that will help you make your quest creation a bit faster. Okay, now back to talking session with Chisa. Next, I'm going to select a language. So link a language, which is Japanese. Okay, and then select a difficulty. And let's say it's going to be hard. Now, you can see that as soon as I click on the hard, whenever I select a difficulty, the experience value will automatically shown over here. Okay, so this is hard. If I go to easy, it's going to be 150, normal 300, and if I go all the way to absurd, it's going to be 33,000. Now, you can always edit or customize your experience value by clicking on the fill over here, and then change the value over here. So easy 150, you can change the value over here, change the value here, and so on. Okay, and then make sure to save. Click on save. Okay, and that is it for that. And next, you have a date to complete over here. So you can select a date which you want to complete the quest. For example, I'm going to go over the weekend, and if it's extended date, you can add an end date just like that, and go from 27 to 30 just like that. Okay, so I'm going to unbutton that. I can also add a reminder if you want to. Okay, so send a notification on this day at 9 a.m. or so. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at 27. And there you have your first quest created. Just like that. Very simple, isn't it? And you can also type in any notes that you want. For example, where to meet. Okay, you can add a map if you want to. Okay, map view or whatever that you want to include in this page. Okay, now once you have created a quest, you can have a look at all of your quests by clicking on this view quest button. So click on it, it's going to open on the side just like that. So these are all the quests that you have. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one first. You can have a look by date, by difficulty, and whatever more that we have over here. Okay, and this this database over here reflects exactly the same as the one that we have at the bottom. So this is the main database for your quest. Okay, so you can have a look more clearly over here. For example, if you go by date, you can see all your quests in the calendar just like that. Okay, beautifully. And you can also have a look at your quest group by difficulty, by players if you have multiple players, by languages, and also you have the logbook. So all of your quests that have been completed, cancelled, or failed will be sorted into the logbook automatically. Okay. Next, let's have a look at how to register your experience points to your player. Okay. Now, once you are done with your quest, all you need to do is just click on Mark as Done button over here to register your experience points to your player and also to your language. Okay. Now, at the moment, my player is at level 3 and my Japanese language is at level 0 with 300 experience points. So if I click on Mark as Done over here, you're going to see that my player will level up to level 4 and my Japanese language will have an increased total experience points. I'm going to click on Mark as Done,
Boom, just like that. I am now at level 4, and my Japanese language is now at total experience points 900. Okay, it was 300 earlier, right? Now, to change the value of how much experience points required for you to level up is very simple. All you need to do is just go to your player page and then click on this experience required property over here, and then change the value from 1000 or to whatever amount that you want. Same thing with your languages over here, okay? Experience required, change it to any value that you want. Totally customizable, okay? Now, what if you fail your quest? Okay, so you can change your quest status over here from in progress to fail. And when you fail a quest, you will have your experience points deducted. Okay, so you can see here, at the moment, my total experience points is 3,900. If I fail my quest, you can see it being reduced, just like that. Okay, so it's going to be a portion of the experience value that will be deducted from your player and language experience points. Okay. Next, what I'm going to show you is how to create templates or recurring templates if you want to for your quest. For example, if you have a recurring meeting with someone or a recurring lesson, all you need to do is just click on this downward icon over here and then create a new template. Okay. And then set your duplicate every. You can customize according to day, weekday, week, or anything just like that. And then, if, for example, I go to day and then click on save, and then this template will recur every single day according to the recurrence that you set earlier. Okay, so that is how you can simply create recurring quests in your language learning RPG. Okay, to delete it, just click on here, and then stop duplicating if you want to stop to duplicate the quest, just like that. Okay, so that is how you create recurring quests in language learning RPG. Okay. Finally, the last thing that I want to show you is how to create notes in language learning RPG. Okay, creating notes is once again an easy task to do. To create it, just click on this new blue button over here, and voila, you're done creating a new note. So you can type in whatever you want. For example, lesson for today, a review. Okay, and you can add a description if you want to. Blah blah blah. Okay, and then link a player. So I have here my player. Okay, if you want to add more, show more properties over here, you can do so. For example, let's say my rank and my fluency. Okay, so that is how you can customize your view over here. And then select a language. You can select one language or you can select multiple language if you want to. Okay. Next, you can add a publish date if you want. Okay, so I'm going to set it for today. And finally, if you want to pin your notes, just click on this empty field and then select pin. And you're going to see that this note has now been pinned to the top, just like that. Okay, to unpin it, just remove the pin option over there. And then it will unpin itself, just like that. Okay, now you can add whatever you want inside here. You can add a YouTube video, you can add your notes, you can upload files here, you can upload images, you can upload recordings if you want to, whatever, as a part of your note. Now, once you linked your notes to a player, you can view your notes over on your player page. So click on your player page just like that, and at the bottom of the page, you can see here the notes section, click on it, and all your notes will be viewed in a board view just like this. Okay, so these notes are all pre-filtered according to the player that you have linked the note to. Okay, so very simple. So that is how you create notes in language learning RPG. Now, one last thing that I forgot to share with you is how you can create templates for your notes. The same thing like how we did earlier with Quest. Just click on this downward icon over here, and then click on New Template, and then you can create templates for your notes. Okay, for example, what I have here is a weekly review. If I click on weekly review, it's gonna create a template of this weekly review just like that. Okay, that is how you create notes in language learning RPG. Pretty simple, isn't it? All right, before I let you go, I'm just going to quickly show you an everyday workflow of how you might be using language learning RPG. Okay, now once you open your template, the first thing that you might want to do is to view your quests. So to click on the view quest button to have a look at all of your quests. Okay, so there are pending quests or quest that you have not started. And if you have completed a quest, remember you can just click on this mark as done button to register your experience points and level up your player. So I'm going to click on mark as done. You can see my player level up just like that. Okay. Next, you might want to start a new quest. So click on this button. And once again, remember, you can customize this button by clicking on this edit button icon over here. Okay, click on it. And let's say that every time I want to create a new quest, I want the property player to be pre-filled by my selected player here. Okay, so you can select just like that and then click on done. Now, every time I click on this button, the player property over here will be pre-filled with the player that I selected earlier. Okay, so you can pre-fill with a player property, language property, or difficulty property over here. Okay, next I'm gonna give this quest a name. Let's say revise lessons with tutor. Okay, I'm gonna leave the status just like that and select a language. So I'm gonna link Japanese over here. Select a difficulty. Now you can either click on select from here, or if you have a template created, for example, I have here a selection of templates here. For example, hard quest, if I click on it, it's going to auto pre-fill just like that. Okay. Next, you can select a date to complete. Once again, you can select just like that. And if you want to send a reminder to your Notion app, you can just click on remind and set the day from the selection of reminders over here. Okay. You can add an end date if you want to, just like that. Okay. And you are done creating with your quest, just like that. Okay. Now, once you are done with your quest, once again, you can click on mark as done to register your experience points. Or if you failed your quest, you just click on fill over here, and your player will have the experience points be reduced. Okay, so consider that as a penalty for failing your quest. Okay, so I'm going to click on mark as done. I can see that my player has earned experience points. All right, now next thing that you might probably want to do is create a note. Okay, so I'm going to click on new page over here, or click on new over here. Okay, and let's say notes from my tutor. Okay, so I can add some description, blah blah blah. Okay, select a player to link, select myself, select a language, Japanese, select a publish date. So I met my tutor earlier, and then okay, if you want to link your quest from earlier, you can just click on link existing. So this is the one, or you can search for it, revise over here, just like that, and then click on link page. Now your notes, for example, like you have something written over here, my notes, la la la. Okay, so if I click on this quest that we did earlier, it's going to also show the notes over here. Okay, so both are linked together. So this is for easier reference for you. Okay, so once you are done creating your notes, it's going to appear over here. And finally, if you want to have a look at your player profile, just click on your player page over here. You can have a look at the notes that you have created earlier over here and see the your quests, active quests over here, or have a look at your logbook to see all the quests that you have completed. So that is essentially how language learning RPG works in your everyday use. Okay. All right, so that is all about language learning RPG. I hope this walkthrough was useful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email or message me on my Ko-fi page. Or if you haven't got this template yet, you can head over to my Ko-fi page and get the template over there. So yeah, I hope you like what you have seen. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you. I hope this template will be useful for you in your language learning journey. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.